What's up, everybody, and welcome back. I have another amazing episode, Paul's Best Podcast. Guys, you guys know this is the podcast where we talk about only positive things, the best of things. I bring a great guest on, and we talk about the best of what that person's into, what I'm into, what I know that person likes, and today is no exception as far as the best. My guest today is I think, one of the realest, best comedians working today. Wow, I haven't said that. I haven't said that about a lot of people.
Oh, again.
Okay. I love this dude. He's a killer. We always have a good time. When he was in New York a lot more, we would meet up and smoke cigars. Ronny Chieng is here.
Hey.
Ronny, thank you so much for being on Paul's Best.
Paul, thanks for having me, man. I love you. The feelings are mutual.
Dude, I remember when we first met, we were sitting in the back of New York Comedy Club, and you just came here.
Yeah.
You just came. What year was that?
I moved to America, New York City in 2015.
2015. Okay.
Yes.
So you're still kind of 10 years, but you go all over the place.
Yeah. But I live in New York. This is my 10th anniversary in New York City. I remember meeting you, and I felt like I knew you because I already listened to your podcast and stuff like that. You
came up so nice, and you were like, "Hey, I just moved here. I'm new to New York, and I got this job at the Daily Show." You were like, "You were so nice. You're like, I love your stand up. I love your podcast. So nice." And then, and you've been at the Daily Show now for how long?
10 years.
Oh, you started like right when you. Yeah, that's why you came.
Yeah, I came here for the Daily Show. Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't come and then get the Daily Show. You were basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like every comic, I think, worth their salt, they consider moving to New York City to be a stand-up. Yeah. And I was no exception. And now I laugh at how naive I was to think I could just move to New York City like from scratch. And, hats off to everyone who did that, because everyone else does that. Yeah. And I wanted to be one of them. And I moved here for the Daily Show. And even then it was tough,
Dude, I got to be honest. Like sometimes when I hear that, it makes me go, would I be able to? It's one thing for me to drive to the city, right?
Yeah.
I was always in a suburb of New York.
Sure.
So I'm like, hour.
Sure.
And be like, hey, you're going to go do an open mic. You're going to drive to the big city, which is an hour, and do it. I don't know. Like when I hear stories about you, there are some people that come from Florida, and I'm like, how'd you do that? you came from across the world.
Oh, okay. Yes, but you also were like, you were working like a door knocking sales job.
That's true.
And then you went to go into
That's true.
So no one had it easy. It's a tough. And you started from, I think. So for me, like I was able to, I think the comics that move here from overseas, usually they move here with 5 years under their belt.
Yeah.
So when they come in a little bit laterally, not completely. You still. But if you start from the ground, the open mic scene in New York City. Another hat off to you, because I don't know any open mic scene as tough as the New York City open mic scene, just psychologically.
I stopped. I didn't like to do it.
Yeah.
Because it would be 14 comics with notebooks.
Yeah.
And just going, that's not, and that's not good. And I remember just being like, this doesn't feel real.
Right. And you tell me, this is what I believe. I tell people sometimes, and I shouldn't because I didn't come up in it. I think that you should start off in the New York City open mic scene. It makes you tougher. It makes you better comic. But there's a point where it can actually make you a worse comic.
100%.
And you have to stop before then.
Dude, I've told comics that. I go, don't go to all these open mics. I go, try to find a comedy club that does like a new talent night where there's real paying audience members. Yeah. So there's real people there that want to see, because you can't get a good gauge of the joke.
You get a lot of false positives, people laughing at you bombing, and you also get a lot of false negatives, people laughing at things that isn't actually that normal humans don't find funny. So
now when you were performing overseas, when you were performing in other countries before you came to New York, was there the thing? Because like here we have like I came up in urban scene.
Yeah.
I would do the Black Room, and it was like literally like 8 Mile.
Yeah.
It was dude. I would go in and they would be like, I swear they'd be like, white boys funny, put them up, and it was like you got to be funny quick.
Yeah.
And you got to. But was it like that at places where when you first started or no?
In Australia? No,
but like maybe not like urban scene, but where there were like, dude, the only way I could get up is if I do this shitty pub.
Oh, there's no black people in Australia, so there was no urban scene. But I started in Australia. I started doing comedy in Australia. That's my context for it. So it wasn't that there was an urban scene. There was in Australia, it was a festival scene.
Oh, okay.
So it was like Edinburgh style.
Got you.
Which is UK style, which is you do a one-man, one-woman show.
But it could be in a pub. It could be in a bar.
It could be in a pub, a bar. So we did our 10-minute spots, but everyone was building towards their one-man, one-woman show that they would do once a year. So it wasn't as punchy. So
sure.
So it was a little bit more indulgent, which is what the audience was kind of used to. So if you came in with a bit more of an American style, I argue it was you know, if you had more jokes per minute, you could kind of stand out a little bit. And so I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, everyone there was trying to be as funny as possible. So no one was, no one was tanking it. I'm just saying that the mentality in Australia was I'm trying to build material for my one-man, one-woman show that has a story arc.
Yes.
And all that. Whereas in New York, it's like, well, we were building for the theoretical TV spot. So we had a 7-minute, 10-minute.
Yep.
I mean, you didn't have to be super clean, but you're building that 10-minute spot where you could, as you said, you were going to urban rooms just give me
survival, yeah.
Survival, yeah. So I think that attitude was a little different there. So I think fair to say Australia, when I was coming up, it was a little bit more indulgent, less, people were kind of used to storytelling a bit more than New York City would be,
Sure. What do they still do a festival in Australia?
Yeah.
Is that in Sydney?
Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Okay. Yeah. I gotta go because I think I told you this back in the day. For some reason, I have a ton of Australian fans, and when I went to London, I sold out. And we added a show, and people were like, "When are you coming to Australia?" And I didn't realize.
No, not for no reason. Because you're funny. I knew you from Australia because your stuff was killer, and also obviously you had the Burr connection. Yeah. And so that's why I saw you in New York Comedy Club. When I first came here, I'm such a comedy nerd, and so I don't know if you ever had this feeling, but you don't realize when people see you on the street that, back then anyway, there was not a lot of podcasts, not as many.
Yeah.
And you had this connection to Burr, and your stand-up was funny. So when I got to New York City, I was the comedy nerd who was like, oh my God, that's Virzi.
Yeah.
I know him from the internet.
Yes.
And he doesn't know me, but I'm
And it was before pods, like you said.
Right.
Yeah,
so it was before like social media made everyone seem like, this friendship simulator of social media. So it was back in the day, it would be like I felt like I knew a comic, like it was like this guy's the real deal comic. He's super funny. A New York City comic.
I remember when I saw some things that you did, especially you did on, we did one really cool thing that we did together was right before the world shut down was when we did the Patrice benefit.
Oh, yeah.
And like that lineup was, I'll never forget, like that's probably, if I look back at everything, I know that JFL has some crazy lineups, but I don't know if you remember that lineup. That lineup was incredible, and I was just like, and then 2 months later, the pandemic hits. But one thing that, before we get into the best of, which we're going to get into with you, which is going to be cool because it has to do with travel and cities, but for people that want to know about you from Australia to here, it's interesting that what made you, so the Daily Show, right? Does that mean that you really knew about, or like even the satire of American politics? So that was like what you submitted, like jokes about that?
Yeah. So the real reason I got the job is because Trevor Noah stuck his neck out and asked me to audition and hired me. That's the reason I got the job. They weren't looking at me. They weren't even looking in my direction at all, and I had no pathway in. It's just because Trevor.
And you knew Trevor through where? I
only knew him because we did Just for Laughs together once.
Got it.
And we weren't even. I wouldn't even say we were friends.
You just met.
We did a gala together.
Gotcha.
And he liked what I was doing, and then 2 years later, out of nowhere, he asked me to join a Daily Show. And it wasn't like we were texting or messaging or calling for 2 years. I didn't hear from him for 2 years. He just remembered my set. So he stuck his neck out to hire me because he said he wanted an Asian dude on the show because he just felt it was half the planet. And he was like, hey, we don't have anyone on here to talk about these issues. And, he has friends he was closer to that are probably funnier than me that he could have, brought in. But he didn't. He brought this person. Yeah, he just stuck his neck out for me, and it changed everything for me. So I owe him everything.
Amazing. Dude, that's amazing. Yeah, you hear stories like that. Like, I remember, I think it was Nate Bargatze, I think, was in the stand, and Fallon came in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 8 months later, or like when somebody sees somebody clean, and that's the type of comedy that they want to be around, they remember.
Yeah.
But there are some people that I've worked with that I'm like, man, if I do a show or a movie, Like, I want that. It's perfect.
Yes.
Like, or just, and it could, like you said, it doesn't even have to be a deep connection.
Totally.
It could be like, you know what? That one day we hit it off. I liked him. We had lunch real quick at some festival.
Yes.
But I think for this part, it's perfect. And it's life changing. And the fact that Trevor Noah did that for you.
Yeah.
And like you said, 2 years, that probably came out of nowhere. You probably were shocked, right?
I was shocked. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, what? And like you said, but, you know, I was geared towards the U.S. anyway. You know, I was always following U.S. politics. I watch every episode of The West Wing. I would watch freaking Meet the Press with Tim Russert.
Yeah.
In Australia, I just watched that. You know, so I was already. I was already kind of in. I wasn't writing political jokes. I was just always interested in America. I always wanted, because I used to live here when I was a kid. So I always tried to come back here.
Oh, you lived here as a kid?
Yeah, and I lived in New Hampshire from 1989 to 1993. Manchester, New Hampshire.
Oh.
So and then we went back to Singapore and Malaysia after. So I've been away at that point, I left America in 1993, and I've always been trying to come back.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so it took me like 20 years it took me, let me see, 1993 to 10, it took me 20 years to get back to America, 2015. Dude.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to come back. I was like, I couldn't wait. That's why everything America was like, you know, the rats. I'm like, yeah, I read about these rats. It was great. You know, the you know, this homeless guy. I've read about homeless people. I want to see these rats. Like, you know, everything was like, I read about this. I've seen photos of this. Now I'm here, and it's, you know, it's exactly what I thought it would be.
Yeah, and it's kind of, and it's for me, like, I don't know how you feel about this. I don't know if you're spiritual, but for me, like, the fact that you were, you know, where you were watching American politics and watching The West Wing and watching all these things and getting into like what's going on here, and then all of a sudden you go to this festival in Montreal, you meet Trevor Noah, have no idea that 2 years later he's going to say, hey, come to the Daily Show, which is, and you talk about this stuff on stage, and no, dude, and you really are, like, I'm not just saying that, like, for anybody that hasn't seen Ronny, like, Ronny is like legitimate, brings it, and is real and goes at things. It's really, really great.
Oh, thank you.
And I know right now you are going out on the road with Hasan Minhaj, right?
Yeah, Hasan Minhaj.
Hasan Minhaj, and you guys are doing a two-man show?
Yeah, we're doing a two-man. We're doing this really kind of a little bit bonkers two-man show where we're both on stage at the same time, basically insulting each other. We're basically fighting. We're fighting for like an hour. So if that sounds interesting to anybody. We're fighting for an hour. We use visual aids to prove our points, and anyway, it's a whole So it's something a little different. But
I remember your first special. I believe it was your first Netflix special, and you just went at people, and you went at things, and you went at you went at this country, you went at these people, and you just were unapologetic, and it was really like, oh, dude, this isn't just some bullshit.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
No, dude.
And feelings mutual. I think there's all these. We all aspire to be as funny as the best New York City comics, such as yourself. And the pure respect is usually, it's weird, man. People don't actually fully understand that comics really, as much as we want money, we just want like pure respect from comics, to be like, hey, that guy's funny. That's really actually what we.
That is literally one of the truest things that you could say. A comic, yes, if you get popular and you get money and you get into things and you act in shows and all that, but at the end of the day, when somebody you truly respect in this form of art, whatever you want to call it, art, whatever, stand up. When somebody goes, dude, that dude is funny. Really funny, and like that dude, like the respect he deserves, that's fulfilling more than anything.
Yes, totally.
All right, so the show is Paul's Best.
Please.
What we do on Paul's Best is we talk about the best of with the guest with the topic that makes the most sense with that particular guest. You are a very well-traveled man. Okay, I feel like, you know what, I've done. I told you we were talking. Me and Ronny were talking through text. Next on my list is Asia and Australia, two places that I have not traveled, but I have a ton of a ton of Europe. We just spent some time in Greece. I've been to Italy multiple times, been to France, been to Switzerland, been to all these places, Portugal, but I have not gone to Asia.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, though, and this is the best part of the show. We can do best cities and best places we've been in the States, but also overseas, where you're from, places you travel. So what gets you when somebody, whether it's your agent or your wife, saying, Ronnie, we're going here, whether it's leisure or things, what makes you... Let's start with the States.
Okay, States.
Let's start with the United States of America.
Okay.
Would you say, and guys, the topic of today with Ronny Chieng is cities, okay, all over the world and the United States. We're going to start with the United States, but where would you say is like, dude, I've been everywhere, I've traveled everywhere, this is my spot? Okay, guys, before we continue with the show, I just want to announce some stand-up dates that I have coming up on Thanksgiving Eve, which is November 26th. I will be in West Nyack, New York at Levity Live for one show only. That's Thanksgiving Eve, November 26th in West Nyack, New York at Levity Live. Then on December 12th, you can catch me at the Newtown, Connecticut Edmond Town Hall Theater. That's Newtown, Connecticut, December 12th at the Edmond Town Hall Theater. Then on New Year's Eve, I will be in Providence, Rhode Island at the Comedy Connection, one of my favorite clubs. Those shows are going to sell out, guys. Get your tickets to that. That's New Year's Eve. January 8th, the DC Improv. And then Valentine's weekend at Side Splitters in Tampa, Florida. For all other dates, go to paulvirzi.com. I hope to see you guys at a show. Now let's get back to the podcast.
Yeah. Other than New York City, which is, I feel, is my spot. New York City is number one for me. I think it's just the best.
Yeah.
But I get that it's not for everyone. So when we need to go, it's not technically a city, but Hawaii. Hawaii is the best. Honolulu.
Oh, okay.
Any city you could go. You can go Maui. You can go to Kauai. But I'm just saying Hawaii is the place where my wife and I go, and it is like...
That's your piece.
Oh, that is it. I think I'm gonna try to die there. I'm gonna try it.
I'm gonna try to. So now, so we went to.
Bury me in Hawaii.
We went. We flew to Honolulu. Yeah. We spent some time in Waikiki. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Just the water and mountains in the water.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part of Hawaii?
Yeah. So it's so hacky to say you love Hawaii, because who the hell doesn't love Hawaii?
Sure.
But I think Hannah and I really connected with something in Hawaii, because I was filming 2 seasons of a TV show there during the pandemic, and I got to see like. The way people in Hawaii, when you really connect with Hawaii, there's Waikiki, the tourist thing, which is already great. But when you really connect with the locals and the Hawaiians there and the island itself, you can unlock this thing that's really special, which is this, because the people in Hawaii, they know how to put other people before themselves in a way which, it's not easy to do in New York City. Just because we are a city that is, you can't care too much about other people. but Hawaii is a place where by default you have to care about other people more. If you don't, that's how you get outed as a tourist.
Wow.
So and then that's when the whole place shuts down for you. But when you give more than you take, and when you treat other people better than you would treat yourself, you unlock this island. People start welcoming you to their homes, and you start feeling, and you start being connected with things, and it's a very healing place, and it's very beautiful, and it's the perfect amount of casual. You walk around with shorts, no one bothers you. You can
the weather's incredible.
Yeah, you can walk up, you can hike into the valleys, and they've got the beautiful lush waterfalls with the green, that kind of iconic valleys, and and you can tap into the local kind of. They love live performing there. They love live music. They have a history of live performing. They have a history of comedy and it's just when you're there, I don't know. It's for me, it's just very healing and peaceful.
Can you see yourself retiring there?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. When I first got there, it looks like Malaysia, like the best parts of Malaysia, like a super clean version of Malaysia. That's When we were there, we decided to rent a car, and I decided to drive all the way on the other side, the west side of the island, and we went to this beach called Lanikai Beach. Yeah, Lanikai. You've been there? I know. Yeah, I know. And Blue Waters. We ate, Blue Waters, and we ate at this place called Buzz's, which was this little place on the way there, and we had this artichoke, and me and my wife were just blown away. But it was very peaceful. Yeah. It was away from everybody. Yeah. It was like a private beach. The water was so unbelievable, and I just remember, you go to a place like that, and you're like, you almost kind
kind of forget that it is in America.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be disrespectful.
No,
I'm saying
1,000%.
when you're in Hawaii and you go to a private place, like you feel like you're in another country.
When you're in Hawaii, you're like, how is this America?
Yeah.
Because you're in the middle of the Pacific.
I just sat on a plane forever.
I know.
And you're in the middle of the Pacific.
Yeah, I think you might be closer to Asia than America at that point.
I think you're a little closer to Japan, right?
Yeah.
So I would say I love that. For me, this is now other than New York. Yeah, it really is hard because like we almost take for granted.
Yeah.
Like I could drive to Madison Square Garden from my house. I can go get some of the best food in the world right after this podcast.
Sure.
You know, so you take for granted. But I would say too, one city that I think I talk about sometimes, and people really are like, really, and this is, and it has zero to do with politics.
Please.
Washington D.C.
Yes.
Dude, Washington, D.C. has unbelievable comedy crowds. They're incredibly smart and educated. But when you just walk and you look at the buildings and you look at the architecture and you just walk at night and you see Washington, D.C., okay? And the White House is the least, like the White House, okay. But then you see you see these government buildings.
The Lincoln Memorial.
The Lincoln Memorial. All of the memorials there. And the everything that is there.
Yeah.
The monument. Yeah. And you're looking around and you're seeing these buildings and you're just going, it looks like it was made, it's so, you know, because we were in Greece and we went to Acropolis and we apart. And like when you see some of the buildings in D.C., like it's kind of like that.
Yes. They copied that. Yes,
they copied that.
They copied that. They copied that.
And you're just looking at it going, man, this is a really, you know, my son did something on the Lincoln assassination when he was a little boy. So he said, can you take us for the weekend? Can you take for the weekend? Yeah. So my little girl was too young. Yeah. So she stayed home and we take my 5-6-year-old son to D.C. We go to the Ford Theater. You know, they gave us a tour. We saw where Lincoln sat. But then we're eating at night. We went to a baseball game, and we kind of took in Washington, D.C., and I go, this city's beautiful and underrated, man.
No, is it underrated? I guess I agree with you, by the way.
I don't know if, like, I know what you mean. People, you know what I mean? Like, I think, but I also think we get a little more of it because we're in
comics.
A lot of, so you guys know, a lot of comedians have shot their specials there. Yeah. And a lot of comedians
Great comedy crowd.
Great comic. A lot of people have, Patrice O'Neill, we spoke about Rest of Soul. He did his album at the DC Improv. DC Improv is one of the best rooms in the country. A lot of comedians. Chappelle did Killing 'Em Softly there. Dave Attell has done stuff there.
I think Chappelle's kind of from there.
Actually, Chappelle's kind of from... Wait a minute. Now that I think about it, Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Was it? Yes.
Was it Constitution Hall?
I think so. Yes.
It was the one in the orange.
Yeah. I just played there 2 weeks ago.
Oh, dude, that's amazing.
So I agree with you completely. Whenever I'm in DC, I agree. It's like beautiful, underrated.
Yep.
The area, the DC area, is super clean. It's clean as well. When you walk around the city, it's actually spotless and
it's so clean.
Yeah, it's clean and it doesn't feel dangerous. I mean, it shouldn't be. There's literally, you know, like 50 snipers on all rooftops. So weirdly, one of the safest cities in the city, but it doesn't feel like a heavily armed city, although it's probably the most.
But you don't feel it, but it does just look clean.
Yeah, and then you go to the Lincoln Memorial and you look out at the mall, you know, the reflection pool, and you can see all the way to the Washington Memorial, and then you see to the Jefferson thing, and you know, America is only 250 years old, which is not very old compared to when you go to Greece or something, you know, and those things are right. Forever. So when you go there, like, you can get fooled into this sense of history because it's actually very young. Remarkable what America has done in about 300 years. But still, even though it's not 2,000 years old, when you're there, you're like, these monuments, and it's like it set the foundation for this country that became the greatest startup of all time, like from nothing into everything, and literally
That's
everything.
A great way to look at it.
Yeah, and these are the monuments that they built to commend that. And when you're there, you can't help but buy into that a little bit.
That's the thing. It's like you could just go for a walk in DC, and without even trying, you look and you like have to take in what you're watching.
Yeah.
Now, do you?
The other thing, though, one last thing about these monuments is because everyone who comes to America usually takes photos there. Dude, there's photos of my dad who, when he came to America before he brought me over, he's just standing at Lincoln Memorial.
Really?
And, so you look at
that's so cool.
So you look at photos. I was like, oh, Dad was standing right here. You know, he was standing right here. You know, when he was 30, he was here.
And that's so. Dude.
So that's what's really cool. So you take photos to like mimic your parents when they were
they came.
Yeah.
Do you judge cities based on what we're talking about now as far as structures and infrastructure and all that, or people, or both?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the city is the vibe and then the food. And walkability, I think, is kind of important because then you can actually see the city.
Getting around is a big part of it.
Yeah. Like Houston's a great city, but you gotta have a car to go to like the Vietnamese part. And it's so spread out, you know. But whereas cities like DC, you can walk around. You know, Boston, you can walk around. Charleston, I think I was gonna mention. I don't want to move on too quickly, but there's other cities that
No, we're gonna get to that. Yeah, you know what? Houston is such a good comedy town. Yeah. But you just have to travel. Like the travel,
you gotta drive. You gotta drive. You end up in a hotel next to a freeway or something. You know that you can't hang out there. You gotta
Yes. Little town. I gotta tell you, people are like, Paul, how can you say this? Buffalo, New York, to me, right? Everybody's like, there's nothing, but there's something about the people.
Really?
Yeah, and everybody's like, how can you say it? There's nothing. The weather is bad. There's no buildings.
It's so weird, Buffalo.
But when I go there, the embrace of people, it's weird.
Really?
Yeah, and there's certain parts of Wisconsin that I get the same feeling where I don't care about the... Listen, don't get me wrong. Seeing nice buildings, seeing stuff like that, seeing skyscrapers.
But it's not everything.
But it's not like when you go to some place and almost you feel like you're in this like even where the Buffalo Bills play, it almost looks like it's in somebody's backyard.
Man, you're really shitting on Buffalo here, but
no, but
you felt something you connected. Buffalo's your Hawaii.
No, I would say that. No, I'm not retiring there. But no, there are certain places like and this is one I'll say before you get to Charleston, because Charleston is great too. Yeah. The Pittsburgh with the bridges. Yeah. And I like when we went to a Pittsburgh Pirates game and we were just sitting by first base and you look out and you see the entire city and you see the yellow bridges and you see all the things and you're going like, this is just a blue collar.
Yes.
You can go get a cigar at 1 a.m.
Yes.
You go to a steakhouse. Certain things like that where I'm going, oh, these people are just hard work. I feel like when you see a city, you can feel that.
Yeah, you can feel how down to earth a city is, for sure.
Or L.A., which is not down to earth and a little more snobby.
Sure.
But there's great parts.
Yes.
But go ahead. What's your next one?
I'm glad you mentioned those. So Buffalo, I've been to once. I actually did the New York bar exam in Buffalo.
Really?
Which I failed. But I flew up there to do the New York bar because I thought that was my only way to move to America was to become a lawyer.
Wow.
So I did the New York bar exam in Buffalo, of all random places.
Did you ever pass it? Like, did you
No,
ever?
I didn't pass it.
You just came back.
Yeah, I couldn't pass it, and then luckily comedy let me come back here. I was gonna move here to be a lawyer and do comedy at night. But I could, yeah.
So you like Charleston, South Carolina?
Yeah, I like Charleston. I was going to talk about Pittsburgh, but yeah, Pittsburgh's great. Yep. Great city too. Beautiful. Great food. Exactly what you said. The people that you can feel that they're very down to earth and cool. Andy Warhol Museum in Pittsburgh. So,
I didn't go yet, but yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool too. It's randomly in Pittsburgh, if I'm not wrong. So this really this really cool Americana is there too, Pittsburgh. So I agree with you.
And I think the bicycle museum is in. There's a bicycle museum.
I didn't go there.
With like 6,000 bicycles in Pittsburgh, I believe. Yeah.
I asked Steve Byrne because he's from Pittsburgh for the rec, so he'll give me the food recs and I think.
That's his.
Yeah. And the surprising hidden gems in America, Charleston. I mean, maybe it's stupid for me to say it's a hidden gem because maybe I'm the ignorant one.
No. It's
Charleston. It's a lot under South Carolina. You go there. Hey, first of all, I think it has the most number of Michelin star restaurants in one stretch, which is weird.
we were there for a wedding like 6 months ago.
Sure, and then forget the Michelin star thing. It's just like a beautiful town that you can walk around. The architecture is there's no skyscrapers. It's all kind of historical looking.
Yes.
And the nice people, again, very nice people. And again, not to get political, but I think this is part of the city's charm is that they reconcile this that terrible relationship with history with black people, and it feels like they reconciled it. They set up a museum for it. It's everywhere. They talk about the slavery, the markets.
Sure.
But they talk about it in a way that's very much like coming to terms with it, and let's move on with it. So when you're there, it's there, and because they talk about it, you feel like you can let go. You can let go.
Yes.
We can let go and enjoy the city.
Horrible things happen.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to this wedding, and we can tell that where we were, some horrible things happened.
Yes.
You could tell.
Yes.
And so you see this beautiful thing, but like, yeah, no, and I almost feel like a city like that needs to do that.
Yeah, it needs to do that. And for the better, I mean, look, I'm not from there, also I'm not black, so I don't know, but it really felt like everyone there was just, they were happy in Charleston. They want like this fucking place, you know, they were like, this, it's very charming. It's such a charming American city, you know.
Do you like any places near water? Do you like Miami? Do you like any like places like by the ocean in the States?
In ocean parts, you know what? Oh, you know what was? Is this by the ocean? Another hidden gem. Tampa was great.
Dude, Tampa's great.
Tampa was great, man.
And Tampa, I think, is one of the best comedy.
Yeah.
Tampa is like you could.
What's up with that?
No, Tampa's incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
is that something that changed, or was it always like that?
No. I think over the last, I want to say it's over the last 10, 12 years, Tampa has become one of the most desired places for comedians to go.
Yeah, it's great.
And you're right. There's boats, there's water.
Yeah, there's water there. It's clean city.
Yep, it's great.
It's beautiful. The food there is good. The comedy crowds are killer. They love comedy there.
Do.
You know, they love comedy there. They have multiple sports teams there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, for what's that? Whatever that's what. They have a hockey team there. They have like a baseball team. Yeah, it just shows the city, like there's a lot happening, but it still feels like, it doesn't feel gross and like overpopulated. It feels like they got it right there. Something's working there. Something's working there.
I go to places, and like we talked about Houston, you know, I know a lot of people talk about the city of Austin growing, and I'll be honest with you, like I just really didn't love Austin.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, Dallas, Texas, man. It was one of those places where it was just like you think these people are going to be a certain way, and you go there and it's like it's not. And you're like, hey, Paul, you know, you get to, and like, you know, hey, we know you're into cigars or like wine lounges. Go to this place. And you're like, and you're just like, man, you know, people judge, and people say that New Yorkers are.
Yes.
You know, hey, it was actually nicer than I thought. The people, were nice, you know.
The lesson here is don't believe everything you see on Instagram, man.
No.
In vice versa, anyway. You know?
Of course, it's fast paced. Of course, people are trying to get somewhere, and people will bump into you because they're running somewhere. But what showed me something too in New York City, and New York City speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
The buildings, the food, the people, the arts, right? You go to Broadway, stand up. I mean, it just has New York has everything. You know, you can go on boat rides on the river. I mean, it's anything you want in New York, you could do. But 9/11, after 9/11, when people really came together and pick you up off the ground and stuff, you were just like, oh, listen, yes, it's hustle and bustle, but it actually got voted recently some of the nicest. Yeah. You know, but people just see what they see in movies.
They see what they see in movies. They see what they see on Instagram. They see what they see on the street. But I think New York City, I think we've talked about this before. New York City is a place where if you talk to a New Yorker for 20 seconds, you'll hate them. If you talk to a New Yorker for longer than 5 minutes,
that it's like a connection that you'll never.
Oh, dude, you will die for each other.
That's a great point.
Literally, someone could come with a knife, and you both will fight that guy to the death to protect another person. You know,
dude. So, I'm going to tell you a story. I can't believe you just said that because we actually had that. So we go. Me, my son, another dad, his son. We went with a bunch of us. Went to the Knicks game. And then after the Knicks game, we went to this amazing Japanese restaurant called Akiya, which it was the sushi level was like Nobu, and a place you could just walk in. It was incredible. Yep. So I had some drinks. I had some sake. I had some drinks at the Knicks game, so I'm a little buzzed. And I just looked at my buddy, and I go, dude, you want to get a cookie? And he goes, let's get a cookie. Let's get a cookie. So we get an Uber. We pack into this big Uber, and we go to like a specialty cookie shop. Right. We get out, and there's this guy. I didn't know if he was homeless or whatever. He was on a bike, and he saw Knicks gear, and he thought we were in Mets gear for some reason. And he goes, yeah, fuck the Mets. And he like starts with us. And then all of a sudden, we just kind of laughed it off. But at first, it was like, what's this guy's deal?
Yeah.
And then we're outside the cookie place, and he comes up and he starts talking to us nice. And I go, hey, man, you want a cookie? so I go in, I give him a cookie. Next thing you know, somebody walking bumped into my buddy, and this same guy on the bike goes, you want me to shoot him for you?
Oh.
He goes, I'll fucking kill. The bond he got with us in 5 minutes was, like you said, so if we only would have walked by and he said, fuck the Mets, we'd be like, oh, that guy's crazy.
Oh, New York sucks.
New York is rude.
Yeah.
Now he wants to, now he goes, who bumped you like that? We just met the guy. But I gave him a cookie and he's hanging out with us and he gives our sons his Instagram and like the whole thing. And you're right. If you actually get into a quick bumping thing with somebody on the subway, it sucks. But then you're like, hey, did you see the game last night?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you and this person are friends.
Yes.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah, New York City is like that. It's weird,
Here's what I want to talk to you about. We got some time.
Yeah.
Overseas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna give you a city.
Oh, can I give a quick American, another underrated? Just one more. Just one last one.
Dude, you're my guest.
Now that we're on Texas, Corpus Christi.
You know what? I keep hearing never been.
It's weirdly a coastal city
it's like
in
a beach.
Texas. Yeah. And it's small town, but like it's a very interesting vibe there. It's imagine Texas, but like beach
at
town.
the beach.
Yeah. So
I heard that. That one I'd never been to.
Yeah.
And I was just, and I'll throw another one out that I just went to, which I can't believe how beautiful it is when you see when you see the bridge, when you see Alcatraz, but San Fran, man.
Oh, what do you mean? San Fran is one of the great American cities.
San Fran is
one of the great American cities.
How beautiful.
It's totally beautiful.
We ate at the Little Italy there. Was the food?
Look, seafood, right next to the sea, beautiful city, beautiful architecture. Yep. Yes, it's a real shame that it's been it's so grimy, you know.
I think it's starting a little to...
It's coming up a bit.
I think a little bit it's coming up.
The Chinese president visited and they cleaned up the streets.
I saw. They're like, it's not that bad. And then the Chinese president comes and goes, you clean that shit up.
Yeah, they clean the shit up. So that made it go up a bit, but if you actually look around San Francisco, it's actually one of the great American cities. Mm-hmm. The architecture, you know, it has you can tell it had this golden age. The bridge, not to mention freaking inventing the future in his backyard. You know, the Silicon Valley.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So San Francisco is actually one of the great American cities.
I was just there. I did a couple weeks ago. I did Sacramento, and then I did Cobb's in San Fran.
Yeah.
I just remember
great comedy crowd too.
A great comedy crowd. Great sports town.
Great sports
you know,
town,
it's a really great place. Now, a place that is unfortunate because it's one of my favorite cities.
Yeah.
But the food stinks. Do I need to tell you? It's ready?
Boston?
No. This is overseas.
Oh, please.
Overseas. I love Boston. Boston's a great city. Food stinks. One of the best cities in the world. Overseas.
London.
Yep.
Yeah, London's
Why?
food is...
And we're trying to figure out, because I'm going, look, I don't understand. The Royals are there. There's this and that.
Dude.
Now listen, the Indian food's incredible.
The Indian food is incredible.
But that's not okay.
Yeah.
Because why?
So
and we love the Indian food.
Yeah, you're gonna get some whatever people saying it, but I embrace the hatred that Indian food is now British food.
Okay.
But that's not what we mean. Why the fuck is the British food not good? The Indian food in London, some of the best in the world. To be honest, whenever I go to London, the Indian food is the only food I can stomach.
That's what I'm saying. So I saw the New York Giants were playing the Packers in London.
Do you like how I got the answer?
I love it.
Even though
I love it.
Greatest city in the world, terrible food.
No,
London.
but like I'm actually I look at it, this is a positive for London as far as the city.
Yeah.
Because then we're talking best cities and I'm putting it in there.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite cities in Europe. But then you go to eat. So I performed there.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
We sell out, we add a show.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I bring my family, we saw a Chelsea game. I took my son to Chelsea game while my wife took my daughter to tea.
Yeah.
They go to high tea.
Yeah.
Me and my son go to Chelsea. Next day, we go to Tottenham.
Yeah.
We see the Giants beat the Packers. It's amazing. And then we hopped on a train to Paris. Food a little different there.
Amazing.
Amazing food, great city. London did something to me where I'm walking around kind of like, this is beautiful.
It is.
Kind of a little feeling of DC in its own different way.
Yes.
But like you're looking at this and you're looking at the Big Ben is right from our hotel.
Yes.
And then you're walking and we walked to Buckingham Palace and we walked to places and then you eat.
Yeah.
And somebody goes, Paul, do you like Indian food? I said, I love Indian food. And it was incredible.
Yes.
But we had one good meal in days.
I know.
And I'm just trying to figure out what's
bad. It's bad, and when you talk to them about it, the London people always like, what do you mean? We got this, and you're like, dude, you don't. It's like they're in this weird bubble where they cannot see that their food sucks.
I just talked to a guy and he goes, oh, we got to argue now. He goes, because like, listen, I grew up there. And I'm like, yeah, you grew up there, but that's because that's all you know.
Yeah, that's all you know. And by the way, I'm a fish and chips guy, so I'm down with that shit. And even then, I was like, this sucks, man. This blows. All this blows, and it's not good. good, and the pizza, like the Chinese, the Asian food. I'm like, nothing. Everything, all the food in London, it is terrible. I did not have a good meal there. I agree with you.
Yeah. So you just eat Indian when you go there?
When I go there, I just eat Indian, or I eat like I have to go eat like what did I eat when I was there? And I was trying to find it. It wasn't like I was eating at 7-Eleven. I was trying to find the good. I was trying to find the good London food. Yeah, you have to go eat like high tea or something just to get something that is
We got I did a show down in Soho, and then they said go to the steakhouse. Steakhouse was decent. The steakhouse was decent, and the Indian was good. So I would say I probably had one good meal, one great meal, and probably 4 days of terrible meals.
Yes, agree. Agree.
Of terrible meals, and I love the city still.
Sure. And again, I'm the guy who looks for the best food in London. So I was there. I had the exact same experience as you every time I go there. And everyone's going to tell me about you eat this place.
Oh, we're going to get a little hate. Listen, you could hate.
Go ahead.
You could hate, but listen,
put your stupid Rex in the comments. I'm telling you, I've been there. Yeah, I've been to your Rex. Dude, I'm the guy who goes to people's Rex. I'm not even the hater.
I fucking love Ronny. Yeah, we're not trying to hate because I'm saying it's one of the best cities. It's on my list. Now, moving on from London, because I'm going to be back there.
Yeah.
We just came from Greece.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. when people told me it rivals Italian food in Italy,
you got angry.
No, I didn't get angry, but I was like, let's calm down. Let's not get crazy. Okay? And dude, it did. It did. The food in Greece was top notch.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
The meats, the seafoods, the fish. There are some fish that only, like Denex and there's a certain sea bass, crown sea bass, that are only for Italy and Greece.
Yes.
And you eat these things, and they could do it like sushimi style. So they cut it and they give it. The food in Greece was amazing. I would say, visually, if you want to visually see the most beautiful place in Greece, it's Santorini.
Santorini? Okay.
Because you're in a volcano, and the ships are there, and the boats, and it's just, it's basically, you're just on a volcano mountain.
That's cool.
And it's beautiful, white structure building. Now listen, so many places. We went to, Athens is a great city.
Yeah.
All these places are we went to Naxos, we went to Santorini, we went to Paros, which they just said is the most beautiful island in the world. But there was just something about Santorini that is just like, when you visually see something that's just, you're like, I don't know if my eyes are ever going to see something that beautiful again, as far as mountains, water, ships. It's just like an incredible. Have you been to Greece or no?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude.
But my managers in Australia.
You could perform at Acropolis too.
Yeah, you can at Acropolis?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My managers in Australia were very Greek because Australia has the largest population of Greek people outside of Greece.
Okay.
So in Melbourne. So they were always bringing me into their Greek family stuff. So I've always wanted to go to Greece. Yeah.
Greece you'll love. Italy, of course.
You're half Greek, half Italian, right?
Yeah, my mother's Greek and my father's Sicilian.
Yeah.
So I want to take the kids to Sicily next time.
Did you ever get to go to Greece with your mom?
No, I didn't get to. My mom's, unfortunately, my mom's alive. My mom is 75, 76. Yeah. She had stage 4 cancer, and a medicine saved her life.
Oh, okay.
A trial drug saved her life 30 years ago, but the pills she takes kind of beats her up. Oh. So, and walking, that's the thing about Greece.
Oh, yeah.
The thing about Greece is...
Sorry about that.
No, she's doing great. Thank you for saying that, but she's doing great. She just, but the thing about Greece is the walking.
Yeah.
You're gonna
and it's like cobblestone.
Yeah, you got to walk up. Santorini especially, you got to walk up. They have donkeys that bring people up because it's a lot.
Brutal.
It's a lot. Like at the end of the day, you're like, okay, that was a lot. That was a workout. Yeah. Now Asia and Australia are two places that are on my list. I want to go to Melbourne and Sydney, but other places.
Sure.
I really love Japanese cuisine. Okay. And I want to go to Japan.
No question. If you have, I just want to, before I move on, I want to say I did go to Italy for the first time with my mom 2 months ago.
Oh, that's amazing.
I went to Milan.
How was that?
It was Milan. It was great. I went there. I was doing a Gucci ad, and so they hooked me up.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then I got to eat Milanese food. I got to see Milan history. It was beautiful. Of course, it was beautiful. The pasta was for them is the pasta they throw in your face is the one that is the best pasta in the world. You know, they do it like it's nothing. They're like, this is how it's supposed to taste. You know.
Now, is your mom a ball buster? She goes toe to toe with you, talking shit or no?
She is not a ball buster.
No.
Oh no, she is. To me, she is.
To you, she is.
Yeah. Not to other people.
But if to other people, she's sweet and nice.
Yeah.
But to you in private, that's great. That's cool.
So and we had a great time in Milan. Beautiful city. You know, great coffee. But I just to what you're saying. Sorry for jumping around, but I want to give Italy its props. But I always tell people if you have to pick one holiday to go to in the world, you limited funds, limited time, you have to go to one place, and you're American, go to Japan. It's the one place you can go to that you will experience everything. You'll experience the densest city, the modern technology, and with same trip, the peaceful countryside. The same, you know what I mean, in one trip.
So you can go to a part of Japan that is just peaceful and calm.
Peaceful and calm.
But then the most dense city
most dense city, because they have the bullet train system.
Okay.
So you don't have to fly around. Once you get to Japan, do not fly around. No one does that. You take the bullet train. You take the bullet train. So
and it's efficient.
Oh my God! You're from Osaka, Japan. Is like 2 hours. It like you. So you can go. You're in Tokyo, one of the densest, most modern, cool cities.
Yep.
And then within an hour train ride, less than an hour, you're in the most peaceful, beautiful countryside.
That's sick.
And it's like the kind of thing where they merge tradition and modern better than anyone I've ever seen. Where they have like, you know, a 2,000-year-old wooden temple, but it's in a modern building. So or right next to a skyscraper or something. So they mix those two. The aesthetic is just perfect. They know how to maintain the tradition and make it ultra modern right next to it. They're the only place I know who can do that really well. With the history and everyone there is super polite to visitors. Everyone there, as you can imagine, everyone's very
and I heard it's
considerate.
Clean. I heard it's
clean as oh my God, the clean as and it's spotless. No crime, no crime. I mean, I'm sure they'll tell you about the guy who picked up a butter knife and stabbed someone in the, you know. For them, that's like a, you know, for us like a freaking. You walk out the street
while we're doing this podcast. Things
someone's
like that.
For them, that's like a major incident.
That's like a massacre. Yeah. That's like a historic. No, Japan is where, and I could imagine the food must be.
The food is amazing. Look, Japan's a blue zone, so everyone there lives to over 100. So they're doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they also have a comedy club. So if you want to go there and do a set, you could do a set there.
Like American, like it would be.
Yeah, English in English. You can go Tokyo Bar. You could do a show there. You could tour there. You could legit tour there. That's So you should definitely. Look at that.
I would definitely. That's what, like I said, and now. Other than Sydney and Melbourne.
Oh, Australia, okay.
Other than Sydney and Australia, Sydney and Melbourne in Australia, where would you say is like a hidden gem?
Okay, so as someone who lived in Australia for 10 years and toured all over, look, so Sydney, Melbourne, those are two places, great cities to visit. The hidden gem kind of is Adelaide, is a little bit of a hidden gem. It feels like a small town.
Adelaide?
Connecticut. Adelaide is like Connecticut.
Okay, that's a good.
And then Brisbane is like I guess it's like Florida. In a good way. So Brisbane's another hidden gem. And then if you're really feeling adventurous, you go Tasmania, which is an island off. You have to take a boat, but it's like Maine of Australia. So you can go there and you can have like oysters in the beach.
Okay.
But Melbourne and Sydney. Melbourne is like if Brooklyn was a full-fledged city with a financial district and everything. So that Brooklyn vibe is Melbourne.
Okay.
And Sydney is more like LA. Sydney's more like LA.
Sydney's more like LA.
It's more spread out, and no one hangs out in Sydney city. You hang out in the suburbs, and so it's all it's like LA like that. And and Sydney is a beach city, so they pride themselves on the beaches. And I would argue, because I'm a Melbourne guy, I would argue Sydney, just like LA, a little superficial with the people. But both are busy cities. And I think you'll appreciate Australia because it's very European in sensibilities, and they have, you know how in like Europe and Italy they'll have like coffee espresso.
Yes.
Yeah. They that's how they roll in Australia. So it's more like Canada than America. If you go to Australia, it feels very this weird like European. It's not Canada, but it's definitely not America. But Americans interface with Australia perfectly.
But is it as so? I said this on stage in Canada, and they agreed and laughed. They act nice to us.
Canadians.
Yeah, but it's a passive-aggressive nice.
Oh, yeah.
They have a little bit of like, is Australia like that a little bit? No. Australia seems it's more like Canada, but if they meant it.
Yeah. they do mean it, but yes, Australia means it more than Canada. Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's great. They mean it more, but because I've been in Australia for 10 years, I got my own chip on my shoulder of Australians, but I agree with you. They say they're nicer, they mean it, but I'm like, you gotta, with Australians, 10 minutes of talking to them, suddenly the conversation becomes like, why can't we say the N-word?
What?
They say the N-word, why can't we say it? And so,
wow, really?
Australia, sometimes conversations take a weird...
They take a weird
turn?
They
take a hard left. Like, I'm saying, you're in a bar, hey, mate, good day, mate, how are you? You're American, all right, how long you in town for? And then
all of a sudden, it just gets wild.
10 minutes, you know how New York... So, my thing is, New Yorkers... If you talk to them for 20 seconds, you'll love them. If you talk to them for, New Yorkers, if you talk to them for 1 minute, you'll hate them. If you talk to them for 5 minutes, you'll love them.
Yep.
Australia, opposite.
Oh, okay. so the small talk, so the quick small talk, you love them.
Oh, you love them.
But then all of a sudden you get into
if you talk for 10 minutes,
that's hilarious.
You'll be like, you'll be like, why are these people like, Yeah.
Well, Canadians do this thing where they're just like, oh, New York, oh no, let's see, yeah, the Yankees there, and then they turn and they're like, let that fucking
yeah. Canadians are passive aggressive. That's great.
I said that, and they all started clapping. I'm like, listen, I get it.
It's true.
All right, so we got the play. Yeah, Tasmania, I would like to just check out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you should just look. Don't feel like you have to visit everywhere in Australia. Australia geographically is actually like as big as America. Yeah. Just that it's way less. It's 10 times less populated. It's 30 million people in Australia. So I would say go to Sydney, Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
You have
I think I might do my next special there.
Oh.
So my next special is either London or Australia, but I want to do Australia. It's just I gotta have to fly the whole crew out there. But yes.
Oh.
Yeah, but Ari Shafir told me that there's a place in Sydney that's like a perfect place to shoot a special.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're talking about comedy. Australia has a very strong history of comedy, just like London does. So they have the infrastructure. They do comedy all the time.
Yeah.
They even have a ton of Italians there. That's why I think you'll find something you'll connect with something in Melbourne because they have a ton of Italians and Greeks.
Oh, also they do the Australian Open there, tennis, which I would love to go.
Yeah. By the way,
together.
By the way, yes, that's a great plan. Australian Open, I gotta say, as much as I love New York, I love US Open. Australia Open is more fun because Australia Open, they make it into basically like a music festival. So when you go outside, like in Melbourne, Australia, it's the Rod Laver, and then there's the surrounding tennis courts, and then just outside that, it's like a music festival. So people come and hang out before the matches, and there are bands playing live, like big bands. So the whole thing is like, imagine like the World Fair or something, where it's a whole,
And I saw there's water there.
They make it into Australian Open is actually a thing you can go and never even go into the arena and have the best day.
Oh, that's great.
Because you buy a day pass, you can watch all the smaller matches, but then you can go to the food festival, you can go to the music thing. And this is Australian Open. When you go to the US Open, I didn't realize that until I went. I was like, oh, this, like, you gotta go like 2 hours into like Queens or something, and then, and then like you're there, and you're not leaving the arena, by the way. The US Open is the Arthur Ashe, that spot. That's it.
Sure, that's that.
And everyone there's like, America. I heard about this, but I had to see it for myself. Australian Open is almost like England. It's like they're very like, come on, Roger, and then everyone quiet. Everyone's quiet.
Yeah.
U.S. Open, people are like, come on, man, you suck, and they're doing it right up till you hit the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I was just at the Ryder Cup.
Right.
And Americans went really.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Dude, that went that was kind of. We went the day after the madness, so I think people were a little toned down. But like going at a golfer's wife,
I know,
as he's
what's
putting,
what's
and I was
going
just
on?
like, what? And then Rory was like, dude, shut the fuck. I was just like, oh, dude, that's a little much.
Yeah,
that's a little much. That wouldn't happen in Australia. Right?
Dude, I got so much pride for America. That Ryder Cup thing, I was like, fuck, this is so embarrassing.
It's almost like, dude, don't do that. Come on, we need to.
I know, like people already think that everyone is an idiot.
You got to be like, yeah, dude, you don't want to be that drunk America talking about a golfer's wife.
Yeah.
So you said Melbourne, you said Sydney,
yeah.
You said some other
Brisbane,
ones. Brisbane,
yeah.
Tasmania,
that's
all that.
Perth. I don't know.
You would tell anybody.
Yeah.
That if you could only go to one place in Asia, Japan.
Yeah.
But what would be another one in Asia?
Oh, another one in Asia?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So second to Japan, in your opinion?
Second to Japan. I mean, then it becomes what are you looking for?
Oh, right. Then it becomes, are you looking for food?
Yeah.
Are you looking
because
for
you can get everything. You can get the relaxing countryside, Zen monastery, and dense city, and the future. The future and the past and the present are all in Japan in one trip, and you can take a train around. That's why Japan is killer. If you want if you want to see some shit, I mean, come down to. Shit. Is that you? Yeah. If you want to see some shit, you could go to Vietnam. I just went to Vietnam again with my wife, who is ethnically Vietnamese, and so that was a really cool experience because Vietnam is a country that's it's very happening. So
I heard great things,
and it's still clean though, and it's
I heard it's amazing.
It's spotless. It's clean. The people there are very nice. Like I'll give you an example in Hoi An. Like we're there, and Hoi An is a UNESCO protected city, so the architecture is still it's all that kind of historically Asian architecture. But the inside of the buildings are all modern. So they've done this really cool thing where they've maintained the outside.
The outside looks like historic.
Yeah, historic. But
and then
inside,
you go in and it's new.
It's like a air-conditioned tea shop.
That's sick.
And this is how nice the Vietnamese people are in general. Is we got there, we were trying to do laundry, we were short by 50 cents or something, and the people doing that are like, no, it's okay, don't worry about it. They were very cool about not trying to. They weren't trying to squeeze you for every dime, and they match your energy. And I can't say this about every place on earth, but Vietnam and Hawaii and Tokyo, you get as much as you give there. When you give out that kind of generosity,
I love that.
Yeah, they give back. That's what you want, No,
that's it's. I think at the end of the day, and that's why I did say Buffalo. There's something. We go from that to Buffalo.
Yeah.
There's something about the people, and if the city is cool and the people are like that, then it's like, because then you could tell people, you go, it's hospitable. I like that.
Yes.
I'm an amenities guy.
Yeah,
I'm a treat nice guy. I'm like, because I want to treat you like.
Yes.
Dude.
You want mutual respect. Yeah.
I want to be treated, but because I give that. I teach my kids that. I'm like, look, you, however you would. This was an example that somebody said, right? If you were to show up to a party, and you didn't know anybody, it's a house party. Right? And everyone's dancing, people drinking, and everybody there pretty much knows each other. And somebody tells you to come, and you go in, but nobody knows you. Treat people how you wish you were treated in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
In that situation of you walk into this party not knowing anybody, you first walk in, treat that person that walked into that party the way that you want to be treated. And if you live life like that, so I put cities like that.
Yes.
In comedy, our job allows us.
Yes.
Our job allows us to feel that.
Yes.
Our job allows us to feel when people are like, same thing with press and radio, right? You ever go into a radio station? You could tell that they either want you to be a part of it,
or they don't want you to be there.
Or they were like, "Fuck, you don't come into my fucking house," right? And you're like, "Dude, I'm just I'm in Portland." Like,
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
But,
I hear you.
But when somebody comes and gives you I like places like that.
Yeah.
The one place we did not talk about, we'll end on this,
Please.
is France.
Yeah.
France. I don't feel that from the people. Okay, I don't feel nice about the people. I've had handful of rude things. My little girl, I'm with my little girl. My little girl was 11 at the time, and she ordered a burger, and she ordered the meat maybe well or medium well, and the lady was like, ugh. I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, dude, I'm eating like your stuff. We're eating your stuff too. We get like all these things. And she just and they were definitely, but like the concierge at the hotel was amazing,
Right.
But listen, the food is amazing. The city is amazing, but I didn't get the feel. That's how great France is. That's how great Paris is. That the people aren't even that, and you're just like, it's still great.
Yeah, I got to do a show in Paris last year for the first time, and I went there. I went there hating it. I went there with never been to France. I was like, it's gonna suck. I hate it. My wife is like, you gotta go. It's beautiful. Blah blah. I'm like, I don't know why. I think because I'm from a British colony.
Yeah.
I was conditioned to hate France, I guess. I was like, no, UK is better than France. I went to France. France way better than the UK. In my opinion, yeah. France, the city was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was super clean. I didn't talk to anybody, but no one gave me shit. As in, I didn't form deep connections, but nobody gave me shit.
Yeah.
I did my show at Le Trianon, which is a beautiful theater. It was gorgeous. And I was like, I was prepared to bomb there. I was like, I'm just here to see Paris. No one, dude, I went there. Everyone got it. Great comedy crowd. And not even, and can you imagine me going to Paris, I think 20 years ago, if I put up a poster, Ronny Chieng, from New York City in English, people be like, why would we go see this, Or they would come and be like, we don't care about America. Tell us about France.
Right.
But now when I do comedy in Europe, not only do they come wanting to hear it in English, they expect to hear about America. They're like, tell us about it. They want to hear about it. Whereas I think 20 years ago, they're like, what are you talking about? The politics that we don't care about. We got our own shit, We
do, yeah.
Yeah, but now they're like, no, what the fuck is going on in America? They kind of... comedy has become a very obviously American art form in a way that it used to be when it started, and then it became a local, and now it's back to like when Americans come to foreign countries, people are like, yes, we want to hear about America now, not like we want you to localize it for us.
Right.
They love a local reference, don't get me wrong, but I think they appreciate you talking about your home experience more.
It's true. It's true. And I never realized how much the world pays attention to us.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're like, mind your business, or people are like, well, why is America getting involved over there? Yeah. And then you feel why, because we're involved in a lot of things, but people, I was in Toronto, Canada during this last election.
Yes.
And I thought that they were going to be like, I was shooting a sports show. And I think night of the election.
They fucking hate America.
And night of election, they're going, dude, what are you going? And people are like, I got to get home and watch the election. And I'm going like, you have another president. Like you're not.
You have your own president.
But listen, it's that close, and people look at us that way. Ronny Chieng, I can talk to you forever, man. I'm so glad the connection that me and you had in this business from a long time, because we've always been, even from afar, we always text here and there.
Yes.
I'll do Instagram lives. Yes. You'll jump on, and everybody gets excited. I will
say, again, it's so funny that you talked about that party analogy to your kids, because that's how I felt when I first came to New York City. You were so cool to me. Oh. You were so welcoming to me. I was like, and it made me really, it was really joyous for me, because I wanted to be in New York City with the comics, and the fact that you were the quintessential local New York City comic who welcomed me into the thing. Dude, I really appreciate it. No, that's how I felt. It literally felt like I was new to the party, and you were like, "Oh, hey man, congrats and welcome."
Well, dude, I appreciate you, and I remember when my first special came out. I'll say this, that I did on Comedy Central in 2018. You came up to me, we were smoking a cigar, and you go, "Hey, dude, that was like a masterclass." You just said something really nice, and I just remember going like, "This guy is killing it here. He's doing the Daily Show. He's hitting the circuits. He's doing the festivals. Did not need to say that, and you did. And like when you have a connection with somebody like that, man, like you said, at the end it goes back to the respect and just the best. You're the best.
You're best.
Plug anything that you have coming up.
I'm okay.
Check out. Yeah, see that? He's with. He's doing good.
I'm doing something racist with Hassan Minaj. You want to come again? The website is Ronny Hates Hassan, or you can go HassanHatesRonny.com.
That's the funniest. The funniest thing is you want to plug something. Nah, dude, I'm doing something racist.
I'm doing something racist with Hassan. You can watch it if you want. No. But it's a show we're doing. We're ending the tour end of the year, so come in.
Ronny, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So great. Check out all the cities that we talked about: Australia, Melbourne, Hawaii, DC, for all of it. Okay, and London. Get your shit together with the food. I'll see you next week.